Hi, my name's John Widdowson. I'm a Match Official developer, and I'm joined by Dusty Miller for the second series in our Developing the Developers.
Hi, I'm Dusty Miller. I'm from British Fencing and UK Sports Institute.
Dusty, in series one, we looked at who I am and the importance of that. In this series, we want to expand on that and explore it a little bit further. And knowing previous conversation, you've spoken about telling your story. So, how important is it around understanding what my story is and how I tell my story?
I think it's a real foundation for who we are and the importance of helping others. And so, if I think back to my time and how my stories influenced my development as a people developer, I think about when I went joined a submarine, and I joined a submarine, and there I went in as a very very junior sailor into what I perceived as a very very hierarchical organisation, and what I very quickly realised is as a new submariner I was there to learn, and it's that learning and that sense of learning that that felt really important to me as a person, but also to the people around me. So although others saw me as a junior sailor, what they also saw me was as an asset, because how I learned and my approach to learning felt really important to them and their support of me.
Just listening to you there, Dusty, it sounds as though you've actually made a conscious effort to really think about that concept of who you are and what your story looks like. Is that, have I get the right feeling?
Yeah, I think the importance of understanding who you are and what shapes and influences how you arrive into a conversation and how you draw on your past experiences, it helps help others.
Yep. Do you think that's something we naturally do, or are we going to make a conscious effort to do it?
I think we have to make a conscious effort to do that. I think we do. It's there. It's in us, but we need to bring it to the conscious.
Right.
We need to consciously think about our previous experiences, from what I understand.
So basically, we've lived our lives, we've lived a journey, we've done lots of things, but we've not necessarily sat back and reflected and thought, what have we learned or taken away from those experiences?
Yeah, not necessarily. And I also think that we find ourselves going through life, being shaped by those experiences and getting to a point where we want to make sense of it. And I certainly did for myself. I wanted to make sense of what impact did being a submariner have on me? What did I draw from that? What did I learn? What did I take? And then when I joined the surface fleet, I went back to being a novice. Although I'd been in the Navy for a while,
Yeah, yeah.
I went into a different environment with a different experience.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I went from being an experienced submariner under the water, but as soon as I went to the surface fleet, I went back to being a novice.
Yeah, yeah. And that being in the Navy is just one element of your life, isn't it? It's not going all the way back to thinking about that influence, the influences you had in your childhood or anything like that, is it?
No, no, it's not. But of course, I would go back to the experiences I had in the childhood. I'd also go back to the experiences I had when I transitioned out of the Navy,
Yeah, yeah.
and when I went into different roles and different experiences. And some of those might be during my time in service. Some of those might be my childhood. Some of them might be last week.
Yeah.
What influences is that having on how I arrive here today?
Did you use anything to help you with that exploration of your journey and your life experience?
When you say, did I use anything, what do you mean?
In terms of making notes, writing it down, are there any models out there that you've used or found helpful for you to explore these concepts to put your story together?
Um, there are many reflective models that are available to us and widely available, and I guess in the first instance, it would be about reflecting. Sean would talk about reflecting on action and inaction. In this instance, it's the on action on. So I will sit and think about things as I'm living it in this moment.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I shall be reflecting on the back of this conversation as an example.
Yeah, yeah.
Could I have delivered this conversation in a different way, or had a conversation in a different way?
I've done a similar thing as you've done in terms of reflecting on the Navy, but also taking it back a stage further and everything else. And I don't know whether you've ever heard of a guy called Bronfenbrenner. So I found his model really helpful in terms of placing me at the centre, identifying the things that were close to me and that have shaped me, then looking at the things a little bit further away that have still had an influence, and then further out, but then also how time affects these things. and I found that really helpful. Do you think something like that could be helpful to others?
I think absolutely, and it's probably worth for us to have a deeper dive into that. And when I think about the use of those types of models, what I like about that model specifically is it's interchangeable.
Yeah.
And so some things will move from certain circles into closer to you or further away as your experiences mature, or as you reflect and recall those experiences.
Dusty, thanks for that. I mean, again, it's a complex subject, and I think it's been really helpful to really get to grips with the things that shape us, the things that influence us, and I guess help us out understand and be able to tell our story. Have you got any tips or that you could offer people around how being able to tell their story?
Yeah, I think one of the tips I would come to is take time and to give yourself the moment to actually reflect on those periods of your life that have been an influence, and then try and use a model to unpick the why you come to where you are being today.
One final question for you.
Yeah.
How do I tell my story? Do you think you could do it as an elevator pitch? Being able to capture your life story and tell your story.
As an elevator pitch, I probably could.
Yeah.
Do I want to do it now? Probably not. And my reason for that is because I think it's something that you would intuitively come to you, and it's how comfortable do you feel sharing your story at the right time.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important, because it's something about telling your story in an authentic and real way. So authenticity is a key for me.
Brilliant. Thanks, Dusty.